Act 4 of The Tempest by William Shakespeare. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 4, Scene 1, Before Prospero's Cell. Enter Prospero, Ferdinand, and Miranda.
If I have too austerely punished you, your compensation makes amends, for I have given you here a third of mine own life, or that for which I live, who once again I tender to thy hand. All thy vexations were but my trials of thy love, and thou hast strangely stood the test. Here, afore heaven, I ratify this my rich gift. O Ferdinand, do not smile at me that I boast her off, for thou shalt find she will outstrip all praise, and make it halt behind her.
I do believe it against an oracle.
Then, as my gift and thine own acquisition worthily purchased, take my daughter. But if thou dost break her virgin knot before all sanctimonious ceremonies may with full and holy rite be ministered, no sweet aspersion shall the heavens let fall to make this contract grow, but barren hate, sour-eyed disdain, and discord shall bestrew the union of your bed with weeds so loathly that you shall hate it both. Therefore take heed, as Hymen's lamps shall light you.
As I hope for quiet days, fair issue and long life, with such love as 'tis now, the murkiest den, the most opportune place, the strong suggestion, or worse the genius can, shall never melt mine honour into lust, to take away the edge of that day's celebration when I shall think, or Phoebus' steeds are founded, or night kept chained below.
Fairly spoke. Sit then, and talk with her. She is thine own. What, Ariel? My industrious servant, Ariel.
Enter Ariel.
What would my potent master? Here I am.
Thou and thy meaner fellows your last service did worthily perform, and I must use you in such another trick. Go bring the rabble, or whom I give thee power, here to this place. Incite them to quick motion, for I must bestow upon the eyes of this young couple some vanity of mine art. It is my promise, and they expect it from me.
Presently?
Ay, with a twink.
Before you can say, come and go, and breathe twice and cry, so, so, each one, tripping on his toe, will be here with mop and mow. Do you love me, master? No?
Dearly, my delicate Ariel, do not approach till thou dost hear me call.
Well, I conceive.
Exit.
Look thou be true. Do not give dalliance too much the rein. The strongest oaths are straw to the fire of the blood. Be more abstemious, or else good night your vow.
I warrant you, sir, the white cold virgin snow upon my heart abates the art of my liver.
Well, now come, my Ariel, bring a corollary rather than want a spirit. Appear, and pertly. No tongue. All eyes. Be silent.
Soft music. Enter Iris.
Ceres, most bounteous lady, thy rich lees of wheat, rye, barley, vetches, oats, and peas, thy turfy mountains, where live nibbling sheep and flat meads thatched with stover them to keep, thy banks with pined and twiddled brims, which spongy April at thy best betrims, to make cold nymphs chaste crowns, and thy broom groves, whose shadow the dismissed bachelor loves, being last lorn thy pole-clipped vineyard, and thy sea marge sterile and rocky hard, where thou thyself dost err, the queen of the sky, whose watery arch and messenger am I, bids thee leave these, and with her sovereign grace, here on this grass plot, in this very place, to come and sport. Her peacocks fly amain. Approach, rich Ceres, her to entertain.
Enter Ceres.
Oh, many-coloured messenger, that ne'er dost disobey the wife of Jupiter, who, with thy saffron wings, upon my flowers diffusest honey drops, refreshing showers, and with each end of thy blue bow dost crown my bosky acres, and my unshrubbed down, rich scarf to my proud earth. Why hath thy queen summoned me hither to this short-grassed green?
A contract of true love to celebrate, and some donation freely to estate, on the blessed lovers.
Tell me, heavenly bow, if Venus or her son, as thou dost know, do now attend the queen, since they did plot the means that dusky Dis my daughter got, her and her blind boy's scandaled company I have forsworn.
Of her society be not afraid. I met her deity, cutting the clouds towards Paphos, and her son, dove drawn with her. Here thought they to have done some wanton charm upon this man and maid, whose vows are that no bed right shall be paid, till Hymen's torch be lighted, but in vain Mars' hot minion is returned again. Her waspish-headed son has broke his arrows, swears he will shoot no more, but play with sparrows, and be a boy right out.
Highest queen of state, great Juno comes. I know her by her gait.
Enter Juno.
How does my bounteous sister go with me to bless this twain, that they may prosperous be, and honoured in their issue? Honour rich is marriage blessing, long continuance and increasing. Hourly joys be still upon you. Juno sings her blessings on you.
Earth increase, voice and plenty, barns and garners never empty, vines with clustering bunches growing, plants with goodly burden bowing. Spring come to you at the farthest, in the very end of harvest. Scarcity and want shall shun you. Ceres' blessing so is on you. This is a most majestic vision, and harmonious charmingly. May I be bold to think these spirits?
Spirits, which by mine art I have from their confines called to enact my present fancies.
Let me live here ever. So rare a wandered father and a wife makes this place paradise.
Juno and Ceres whisper, and send Iris on employment.
Sweet, now silence. Juno and Ceres whisper seriously. There's something else to do. Hush, and be mute, or else our spell is marred.
You nymphs called naiads of the wintering brooks, with your sage crowns and ever harmless looks, leave your crisp channels, and on this green land answer your summons. Juno does command. Come, temperate nymphs, and help to celebrate a contract of true love. Be not too late.
Enter certain nymphs.
You sunburned sicklemen of August weary, come hither from the furrow and be merry. Make holiday, your rye straw hats put on, and these fresh nymphs encounter everyone in country footing.
Enter certain reapers properly habited. They join with the nymphs in a graceful dance, towards the end whereof Prospero starts suddenly and speaks, after which, to a strange, hollow, and confused noise, They heavily vanish. Prospero, aside.
I had forgot that foul conspiracy of the beast Caliban and his confederates against my life. The minute of their plot is almost come.
To the spirits.
Well done. Avoid no more.
This is strange. Your father's in some passion that wakes him strongly.
Never till this day saw I him touched with anger so distempered.
You do look, my son, in a moved sort, as if you were dismayed. Be cheerful, sir. Our revels now are ended. These our actors, as I foretold you, were all spirits, and are melted into air, into thin air. And like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, yea, all which it inherit, shall dissolve, and like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a wreck behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. Sir, I am vexed. Bear with my weakness. My old brain is troubled. Be not disturbed with my infirmity. If you be pleased, retire into my cell, and there repose. A turn or two I'll walk, to still my beating mind.
We wish your
your
peace.
peace.
Exeunt.
Come with a thought. I thank thee, Ariel. Come.
Enter Ariel.
Thy thoughts I cleave to. What's thy pleasure?
Spirit, we must prepare to meet with Caliban.
Aye, my commander. When I presented Ceres, I thought to have told thee of it, but I feared lest I might anger thee.
Say again where thou didst leave these varlets.
I told you, sir, they were red hot with drinking, so full of valour that they smote the air for breathing in their faces, beat the ground for kissing of their feet, yet always bending towards their project. Then I beat my tabor, at which, like unbacked colts, they pricked their ears, advanced their eyelids, lifted up their noses as they smelt music. So I charmed their ears, that, calf-like, they my lowing followed, through toothed briars, sharp furzes, pricking goss and thorns, which entered their frail shins. At last I left them in the filthy mantled pool beyond your cell, there, dancing up to the chins, that the foul lake overstunk their feet.
This was well done, my bird. Thy shape invisible retain thou still. The trumpery in my house, go bring it hither, for stale to catch these thieves.
I go, I go.
Exit.
A devil, a born devil, on whose nature nurture can never stick, on whom my pains humanely taken, all lost, quite lost. And, as with age his body uglier grows, so his mind cankers. I will plague them all even to roaring.
Re-enter Ariel, loaden with glistening apparel, etc.
Come, hang them on this line.
Prospero and Ariel remain invisible. Enter Caliban, Stephano, and Trinculo, all wet.
Pray you, tread softly, that the blind mule may not hear a footfall. We now are near his cell.
Monster, your fairy, which you say is a harmless fairy, has done little better than played the jack with us.
Monster, I do smell all horse piss, at which my nose is in great indignation.
So is mine. Do you hear, monster? If I should take a displeasure against you, look you.
Thou wert but a lost monster.
Good my lord, give me thy favour still. Be patient, for the prize I'll bring thee to shall hoodwink this mischance. Therefore speak softly. All's hushed as midnight yet.
Aye, but to lose our bottles in the pool.
There is not only disgrace and dishonour in that monster, but an infinite loss.
That's more to me than my wetting. Yet this is your harmless fairy monster.
I will fetch off my bottle, though I be your ears for my labour.
Prithee, my king, be quiet. Seest thou here, this is the mouth of the cell. No noise, and enter. Do that good mischief which may make this island thine own for ever. And I, thy Caliban, for I thy footlicker.
Give me thy hand. I do begin to have bloody thoughts.
Oh, King Stephano, oh, peer, oh, worthy Stephano, look what a wardrobe here is for thee.
Let it alone, thou fool. It is but trash.
Oh, ho, monster, we know what belongs to a frippery. Oh, King Stephano.
Put off that gown, Trinculo. By this hand I'll have that gown.
Thy grace shall have it.
The dropsy drown this fool. What do you mean to dote this on such luggage? Let's alone, and do the murder first. If he awake, from toe to crown he'll fill our skins with pinches, make us strange stuff.
Be you quiet, monster. Mistress Line, is not this my jerkin? Now is the jerkin under the line. Now, jerkin, you are like to lose your hair and prove a bald jerkin.
Do, we steal by line and level. Ant's like your grace.
I thank thee for that jest. Here's a garment for't, which shall not go unrewarded while I am king of this country. Steal by line and level is an excellent pass of pate. There's another garment for it.
Monster, come put some lime upon your fingers, and away with the rest.
I will have none on't. We shall lose our time, and all be turned to barnacles, or to apes with foreheads villainous low.
Monster, lay to your fingers. Help to bear this away where my hogshead of wine is, or I'll turn you out of my kingdom. Go to, carry this.
And this.
Aye, and this.
A noise of hunters heard. Enter divers spirits in shape of dogs and hounds, and hunt them about, Prospero and Ariel setting them on.
Hey, mountain, hey!
Silver, there it goes, silver.
Fury, fury, there! Tyrant, there! Hark, hark!
Caliban, Stephano, and Trinculo are driven out.
Go charge my goblins that they grind their joints with dry convulsions, shorten up their sinews with aged cramps, and more pinch-spotted make them than pard or cat o' mountain.
Hark, they roar.
Let them be hunted soundly. At this hour lie at my mercy all mine enemies. Shortly shall all my labours end, and thou shalt have the air at freedom. For a little follow, and do me service.
Exeunt. End of Act 4. Act 5 of The Tempest by William Shakespeare. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 5. Scene 1. Before the cell of Prospero. Enter Prospero in his magic robes and Ariel.
Now does my project gather to a head. My charms crack not, my spirits obey, and time goes upright with his carriage. How's the day?
On the 6th hour, at which time, my lord, you said our work should cease.
I did say so, when first I raised the Tempest. Say, my spirit, how fares the king and's followers?
Confined together in the same fashion as you gave in charge, just as you left them, all prisoners, sir, in the lion grove which weather fence your cell. They cannot budge till your release. The king, his brother, and yours abide all three distracted, and the remainder mourning over them, brimful of sorrow and dismay, but chiefly him that you termed, sir, the good old Lord Gonzalo. His tears run down his beard like winter's drops from eaves of reeds. Your charm so strongly works them, that if you now beheld them, your affections would become tender.
Dost thou think so, spirit?
Mine would, sir, were I human.
And mine shall. Hast thou, which art but air, a touch, a feeling of their afflictions, and shall not myself, one of their kind, that relish all as sharply passion as they, be kindlier moved than thou art? Though with their high wrongs I am struck to the quick, yet with my nobler reason gainst my fury do I take part. The rarer action is in virtue than in vengeance. They being penitent, the sole drift of my purpose doth extend not a frown further. Go release them, Ariel. My charms I'll break, their senses I'll restore, and they shall be themselves.
I'll fetch them, sir.
Exit.
Ye elves of hills, brooks, standing lakes, and groves, and ye that on the sands with printless foot do chase the ebbing Neptune, and do fly him when he comes back, you dummy puppets that by moonshine do the green sour ringlets make whereof the ewe not bites, and you whose pastime is to make midnight mushrooms, that rejoice to hear the solemn curfew, by whose aid, weak masters though ye be, I have bedimmed the noontide sun, called forth the mutinous winds, and twixt the green sea and the azured vault set roaring war. To the dread rattling thunder have I given fire, and rifted Jove's stout oak with his own bolt. The strong based promontory have I made shake, and by the spurs plucked up the pine and cedar. Graves at my command have waked their sleepers, oped and let him forth by my so potent art. But this rough magic I here abjure, and when I have required some heavenly music, which even now I do, to work mine end upon their senses that this airy charm is for, I'll break my staff, bury it certain fathoms in the earth, and deeper than ever did plummet sound, I'll drown my book.
Solemn music. Re-enter Ariel before. Then Alonso, with a frantic gesture, attended by Gonzalo, Sebastian, and Antonio in like manner. Attended by Adrian and Francisco, they all enter the circle which Prospero had made, and there stand charmed, which Prospero, observing, speaks.
A solemn air, and the best comforter to an unsettled fancy, cure thy brains, now useless, boiled within thy skull. There stand, for you are spell stopped, holy Gonzalo, honourable man, Mine eyes, even sociable to the show of thine, fall fellowly drops. The charm dissolves apace, and as the morning steals upon the night, melting the darkness, so their rising senses begin to chase the ignorant fumes that mantle their clearer reason. O good Gonzalo, my true preserver, and a loyal sir to him thou followest, I will pay thy graces home both in word and deed. Most cruelly didst thou, Alonso, use me and my daughter. Thy brother was a furtherer in the act. Thou art pinched for't now, Sebastian. Flesh and blood, you, brother mine, that entertained ambition, expelled remorse and nature, who, with Sebastian, whose inward pinches therefore are most strong, would here have killed your king. I do forgive thee, unnatural though thou art. Their understanding begins to swell, and the approaching tide will shortly fill the reasonable shore that now lies foul and muddy. Not one of them that yet looks on me, or would know me. Ariel, fetch me the hat and rapier in my cell. I will discase me, and myself present as I was sometime Milan. Quickly, spirit, thou shalt ere long be free.
Ariel sings and helps to attire him.
Where the bee sucks, there suck I. In the cowslips, bell I lie. There a couch when owls do cry. On the bed's back I do fly. After summer merrily, 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 shall I live now under the blossom that hangs on the bough.
Why, that's my dainty Ariel. I shall miss thee. But yet thou shalt have freedom. So, so, so. To the king's ship, invisible as thou art. There shalt thou find the mariners asleep under the hatches. The master and the boatswain being awake, enforce them to this place, and presently, I prithee.
I drink the air before me, and return, or ere your pulse twice beat.
Exit.
All torment, trouble, wonder, and amazement inhabits here. Some heavenly power guide us out of this fearful country.
Behold, Sir King, the wronged Duke of Milan, Prospero. For more assurance that a living prince does now speak to thee, I embrace thy body, and to thee and thy company I bid a hearty welcome.
Whether thou beest he or not, or some enchanted trifle to abuse me, as late I have been, I know not. Thy pulse beats as of flesh and blood, and since I saw thee, the affliction of my mind amends, with which I fear a madness held me. This must crave, and if this be at all a most strange story, thy dukedom I resign, and do entreat thou pardon me my wrongs. But how should Prospero be living and be here?
First, noble friend, let me embrace thine age, whose honour cannot be measured or confined.
Whether this be or be not, I'll not swear.
You do yet taste some subtleties of the isle that will not let you believe things certain. Welcome, my friends all.
Aside to Sebastian and Antonio.
But you, my brace of lords, were I so minded, I here could pluck his highness' frown upon you, and justify you traitors. At this time I will tell no tales.
Sebastian aside.
The devil speaks in him.
No. For you, most wicked sir, whom to call brother would even infect my mouth, I do forgive thy rankest fault, all of them, and require my dukedom of thee, which perforce I know thou must restore.
If thou beest Prospero, give us particulars of thy preservation, how thou hast met us here, who 3 hours since were wrecked upon this shore, where I have lost. How sharp the point of this remembrance is, my dear son Ferdinand.
I am woe for it, sir.
Irreparable is the loss, and patience says it is past her cure.
I rather think you have not sought her help, of whose soft grace for the like loss I have her sovereign aid, and rest myself content.
You the like loss?
As great to me as late, and supportable to make the dear loss, have I means much weaker than you may call to comfort you, for I have lost my daughter.
A daughter? Oh heavens, that they were living both in Naples, the king and queen there, that they were, I wish, myself were muddled in that oozy bed where my son lies. When did you lose your daughter?
In this last tempest. I perceive these lords at this encounter do so much admire that they devour their reason, and scarce think their eyes do offices of truth, their words are natural breath. But howsoe'er you have been justified from your senses, know for certain that I am Prospero, and that very duke which was thrust forth of Milan, who most strangely upon this shore, where you were wrecked, was landed to be the lord on't. No more yet of this, for 'tis a chronicle of day by day, not a relation for a breakfast, nor befitting this first meeting. Welcome, sir. This cell's my court. Here have I few attendants, and subjects none abroad. Pray you, look in. My dukedom, since you have given me again, I will requite you with as good a thing. At least bring forth a wonder to content ye as much as me my dukedom.
Here Prospero discovers Ferdinand and Miranda playing at chess.
Sweet lord, you play me false.
Nay, my dearest love, I would not for the world.
Yes, for a score of kingdoms you should wrangle, and I would call it fair play.
If this prove a vision of the island, one dear son shall I twice lose.
A most high miracle.
Though the seas threaten, they are merciful. I have cursed them without cause.
Kneels. Now all the blessings of a glad father compass thee about. Arise and say how thou camest here.
Oh, wonder! How many goodly creatures are there here! How beauteous mankind is! O brave new world, that has such people in it!
'Tis new to thee.
What is this maid with whom thou wast at play? Your eldest acquaintance cannot be 3 hours. Is she the goddess that has severed us, and brought us thus together?
Sir, she is mortal, but by a mortal providence she is mine. I chose her when I could not ask my father for his advice, nor thought I had one. She is daughter to this famous Duke of Milan, of whom so often I have heard renown, but never saw before, of whom I have received a second life, and second father this lady makes him to me.
I am hers. But oh, how oddly will it sound that I must ask my child forgiveness.
There, sir, stop. Let us not burden our remembrances with a heaviness that's gone.
I have inly wept, or should have spoken ere this. Look down, you gods, and on this couple drop a blessed crown, for it is you that have chalked forth the way which brought us hither. I say Amen, Gonzalo. Was Milan thrust from Milan, that his issue should become kings of Naples? Oh, rejoice beyond a common joy, and set it down with gold on lasting pillars. In one voyage did Claribel her husband find at Tunis, and Ferdinand her brother found a wife, where he himself was lost. Prospero his dukedom in a poor isle, and all of us ourselves, when no man was his own. Alonso to Ferdinand and Miranda. Give me your hands. Let grief and sorrow still embrace his heart that doth not wish you joy. Be it so. Amen. Re-enter Ariel with the master and boatswain amazedly following. Oh, look, sir, here is more of us. I prophesied if a gallows were on land, this fellow could not drown. Now bless for me that swear'st grace o'er board, not an oath on shore. Hast thou no mouth by land? What is the news? The best news is that we have safely found our king and company. The next our ship, which but 3 glasses since we gave out split, is tight and yea and bravely rigged as when we first put out to sea. Ariel aside to Prospero.
Sir, all this service have I done since I went.
My tricksy spirit.
These are not natural events. They strengthen from strange to stranger. Say, how come you hither? If I did think, sir, I were well awake, I'll strive to tell you. We were dead of sleep, and, how we know not, all clapped under hatches, where, but even now, were strange and several noises of roaring, shrieking, howling, jingling chains, and more diversity of sounds, all horrible. We were awaked, straightway at liberty, where we, in all her trim, freshly beheld our royal good and gallant ship, our master, capering to eye her. On a trice, so please you, even in a dream, were we divided from them, and were brought moping hither. Ariel aside to Prospero.
Wast well done.
Bravely, my diligence, thou shalt be free.
This is as strange a maze as e'er men trod, and there is in this business more than nature was ever conduct of. Some oracle must rectify our knowledge.
Sir, my liege, do not infest your mind with beating on the strangeness of this business. At picked leisure, which shall be shortly, single I'll resolve you, which to you shall seem probable of every these happened accidents. Till when, be cheerful, and think of each thing well.
Aside to Ariel.
Come hither, spirit. Set Caliban and his companions free. Untie the spell.
Exit Ariel.
How fares my gracious sir? There are yet missing of your company some few odd lads that you remember not.
Re-enter Ariel, driving in Caliban, Stephano, and Trinculo in their stolen apparel.
Every man shift for all the rest, and let no man take care for himself, for all is but fortune. Coraggio, bully monster, coraggio.
If these be true spies which I wear in my head, here's a goodly sight.
Oh, Setibus, these be brave spirits indeed. How fine my master is. I'm afraid he will chastise me.
What things are these, my lord Antonio? Will money buy 'em?
Very like. One of them is a plain fish, and no doubt marketable.
Mark but the badges of these men, my lords, then say if they be true. This misshapen knave, his mother was a witch. and one so strong that could control the moon, make flows and ebbs, and deal in her command without her power. These three have robbed me, and this demi-devil, for he's a bastard one, hath plotted with them to take my life. Two of these fellows you must know and own. This thing of darkness I acknowledge mine.
I shall be pinched to death.
Is this not Stephano, my drunken butler?
He is drunk now. Where had he wine?
And Trinculo is reeling ripe. Where should they find this grand liquor that hath gilded 'em? How camest thou in this pickle? I have been in such a pickle since I saw you last that I fear me will never out of my bones. I shall not fear fly-blowing.
Why, how now, Stephano?
Oh, touch me not. I am not Stephano, but a cramp. You'll be king of the isle, sirrah. I should have been a sore one then.
This is a strange thing as e'er I looked on, pointing to Caliban.
He is as disproportioned in his manners as in his shape. Go, sirrah, to my cell. Take with you your companions. As you look to have my pardon, trim it handsomely.
Oh, that I will, and I'll be wise hereafter, and seek for grace. What a thrice double ass was I to take this drunkard for a god, and worship this dull fool.
Go to, away.
Hence, and bestow your luggage where you found it.
Or stole it, rather.
Exeunt Caliban, Stephano, and Trinculo.
Sir, I invite your highness and your train to my poor cell, where you shall take your rest for this one night, which part of it I'll waste with such discourse as, I not doubt, shall make it go quick away. The story of my life, and the particular accidents gone by since I came to this isle, and in the morn I'll bring you to your ship, and so to Naples, where I have hoped to see the nuptial of these our dear beloved solemnized, and thence retire me to my Milan, where every third thought shall be my grave.
I long to hear the story of your life, which must take the ear strangely.
I'll deliver all, and promise you calm seas, auspicious gales, and sails so expeditious that shall catch your royal fleet far off.
Aside to Ariel.
My Ariel, chick, that is thy charge. Then to the elements be free, and fare thee well. Please you, draw near.
Exeunt. Epilogue, spoken by Prospero.
Now my charms are all o'erthrown, and what strength I have's mine own, which is most faint now, 'tis true. I must be here confined by you, or sent to Naples. Let me not, since I have my dukedom got, and pardon the deceiver, dwell in this bare island by your spell, but release me from my bands with the help of your good hands. Gentle breath of yours my sails must fill, or else my project fails, which was to please. Now I want spirits to enforce, art to enchant, and my ending is despair, unless I be relieved by prayer, which pierces so that it assaults mercy itself, and frees all faults. As you from crimes would pardoned be, let your indulgence set me free.
End of Act 5. End of The Tempest by William Shakespeare.